does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia? Darling, I'm just so fed up with these expectations. They keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. This video is going to be a little bit different. This is I'm coming back from work and just thought, you know what, I never made a video of me fixing my truck. I'm not making one fixing it, but I'm going to give you guys a little bit of information. Whoever owns some Range Rovers out there might be having some of these problems I had. And the way I am is if there's something wrong with my truck, I'll replace every single part until I figure it out. It took me over almost 2 months to figure out what was going on with my truck. But anyways, let me get to the house, and once I get home, I'll give you guys some information on the O2 sensor fault. You know, it's saying, was it something LAMBDA bank 1 and bank 2 has a lean O2 sensors, something like that. I'll have to look it up. It's been a minute before I fixed this, but I fixed it a few weeks ago, or it might have been a month ago. But anyways, stay tuned, because I actually fixed it. I've been driving my truck for a while. No fault codes. The only one that's right there is my washer fluid's low. But yeah, stay tuned. I actually fixed the O2 sensors. All these websites, the dealer, they basically go by what the computer says on your truck. So they're pretty much guessing just as much as I am. And oh, I don't have it right here. I would have showed you. Oh yeah, I don't have it. Maybe it's on the other side. I can't reach because I'm driving right now. Like I said, I'm coming back home from work. But anyways, yeah, my little computer told me everything that their computer said. But anyways, stay tuned and I'll give you an idea. Hopefully it's if you have the same problems I had, hopefully it'll fix it like it fixed mine. But stay tuned, and when I get home, I'll share this information with you. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Well, I'm at my house, and this is gonna be a different type of video. What it is it's gonna be on my 2004 Land Rover, Range Rover, the L322. I was getting a, what is it called? The oxygen sensor fault, the O2 sensor fault, or the O2 validity fault. So anyways, it was saying that my O2 sensor were pretty much bad. So on my Range Rover, I have the 4.4 liter, the V8, the BMW motor. And what it was saying is it was an O2 sensor validity fault, bank 1 and bank 2. But it kept saying, it kept saying two different things. So couldn't figure it out, so I took it to a shop. They told me it's the O2 sensors were bad. Whatever, they're going by what the computer says. My little computer gauge says the same thing. So anyways, so the shop was saying it was an O2 sensor. So I replaced all 4 O2 sensors, the upper O2 sensors and the lower O2 sensors before the catalytic converter and after the catalytic converter. So anyways, replaced all the O2 sensors, still getting the same exact, fault, the validity fault. Or it had a bank 1 and bank 2 were lean. So couldn't figure it out. So someone told me it could be the fuel pump not putting out enough pressure. So of course, my fuel pump's brand new. So I figured, you know what, I'll try a different fuel pump. Bought a different fuel pump, which is a whole nother story, and installed it. And that it's still the O2 sensors kept saying, the validity fault and the lean bank 1, lean bank 2. So then I started reading online, the Range Rover forums and all that stuff. So went there and read that the K&N filter, it could be the K&N filter letting in too much air, whatever. Not true. Anyways, the mass airflow sensor adjusts all the air that's coming in. So, of course, the more air, the better. But it wasn't the K&N filter. I bought a stock filter, which is still in it, and it was still messing up. Still could not figure it out. And I'm the kind of person, I'll replace every single part on there rather than, taking it to the dealer or whoever, because you know what? They're going to be guessing just as much as I am because they're going by what the computer says on the car. So they're guessing, which I had a shop guess, and thanks Range Rover. But anyways, yeah, they were guessing. They kept telling me I need to replace parts, whatever. So anyways, I ended up replacing all the spark plug coils because they said it might not be, firing in order, all that stuff, firing too, not strong enough, in other words. Replaced all the spark plugs, replaced all the spark plug coils, and of course, reset the whole thing and have to drive it 100 miles so it could reset the computer, blah, blah. Did that like 100 times. Well, not 100, but I did drive it a lot. Lots of gas, just trying to figure this out. So far I replaced the O2 sensors, the air filter, the spark plug coils, and then the fuel pump, the fuel filter. I replaced the fuel filter, and still it's giving me this O2 sensor lean fault, bank 1, bank 2, all that stuff. So anyways, so the next thing, someone told me it could be the injectors. So of course, replaced all the injectors, every single injector, and sure enough, it didn't go away. Same thing. Could not, I don't know, I keep saying could not figure it out. So of course weeks go by, and then finally someone told me I replaced the mass airflow sensor too when I did the air filter. Replaced the mass airflow sensor. Then someone told me to replace the oil cap because the gasket goes bad. So I bought a new oil cap, put that on. Then replaced the gaskets on the dipstick because it could be sucking air. That didn't work. Then someone told me the PCV valve, which is in the back of the motor, which I had replaced like maybe 50,000 miles. So I figured it's time to replace it anyways. Replace that. In the process of replacing the PCV valve, I replaced all the hoses, even all the way to that. There's like this black cone thing in the back. It looks like a whirlpool or a tornado looking thing, like a cone, like a funnel. Anyways, replaced all the hoses, even the little one on the bottom of that cone. So replaced that and replaced every single hose, even the one that goes to the brake canister, brake controller, that canister against the firewall. There's a rubber hose that comes off of that. I replaced that. Even put a new clamp on it because I don't trust those little press-on clamps. Replaced that. Replaced every single vacuum hose I could think of. And then, since it is still saying the same thing, the code just kept popping back up. And so someone said I might have a leak in the exhaust, in my exhaust. So, of course, I go and buy gaskets and then replace the gasket, the manifold gaskets, and the downpipe on the exhaust. Replaced all that. And yeah, no, O2 sensors still say bank 1, bank 2 is lean, validity fault. Said some other stuff, but all to do with those O2 sensors. Keep in mind, those O2 sensors are brand new. Bosch. Anyways, those are Bosch O2 sensors. So, kind of long story. Well, it's already been a long story, but the first O2 sensors I did buy off of eBay, but someone said, hey, those cheap ones don't work. You got to buy the originals. So, of course, you buy the originals. Expensive as heck. And, yeah, I bought the Bosch O2 sensors, and yeah, sure enough, it said the same thing as the eBay ones, dude. So anyways, what else did I replace? Fuel pump, all that stuff that you could think of that everyone says it could be. So I'm replacing all these parts, all this stuff. So anyways, I was reading another BMW forum. They were saying it could be the what's that called? The throttle body control valve. So, of course, look at the throttle body control valve, and they're a couple $100. So I was like, you know what? Rather than spending that money, I'm going to buy one off of eBay. So I did buy one. It was only like $40. Normally it's like, if you buy a new one, I think you get off of that partsgeeks.com. And it was like, I think it was like almost $200 for one. So I figured, you know, I'll just buy a used one just to see if it's it, you know. Buy a new gasket, of course. So I throw it on. Sure enough, it was that throttle body. I'll show you what it is and where it is right here. Sorry, my truck's kind of dirty right now. I went to Azusa Canyon off-roading, and it kind of got my truck dirty. But look at this, is new. This oil cap, someone said it could have been leaking. I put new gaskets on the dipstick because they said the air could be going in through there. Also, this is all brand new, this mass airflow sensor. Replaced the K&N filter. What else did I replace? Replaced everything in here. All brand new hoses. I even put a clamp right there. And then there's brand new hoses back here. I don't want to take all this off, but checked all this. Put all new hosing, new hoses all the way through here. But anyways, let me show you guys what it actually is that messed up on my truck. This is going to be kind of a short video, but let me show you. This was the culprit. This right here. This is your throttle body valve. This, I'll show you where this goes. Look, it's all dirty. It looked like it was working fine. Everything was working. All this was working. This is just a plug right here. I'll show you where that is. The throttle body is on the other end of this, which is right down there. It's hard to see, but this cover comes off. It's right inside there. But that's what it was. That's what was causing my O2 sensors to say there was a validity fault, or an O2 like was it I don't know. I'll have to look it up, but it's something that says that it was an O2 sensor. I'll let you go. I'll type it right here. what it was, what the sensor, what's the codes were saying. But yeah, I had to replace that. If you guys end up replacing your throttle body, make sure you unplug your battery so you don't have to reset it with the computer. But check it out, let me show you something. So I went and bought a new air filter. There's my old K&N, which is still brand new. Replace the K&N filter. All new spark plugs. Oh yeah, here's the, oh yeah, this is the PVC valve. Still good, still pretty new. But I replaced that too. I was replacing everything. Right here, that's what it looks like. Apparently the electronics wasn't doing its thing, so bought another one off of eBay. So anyways, this was just a little bit of information if you guys are having problems with your Range Rover. I know there's very limited people out there but that own Range Rovers, but I hate when there's things wrong with my truck, so I try to figure it out rather than taking it to the dealer. I'd rather do it myself and figure it out, save some money, and it might take me a little bit longer. I might have saved money, but then again, I could have did it cheaper through the dealer, but they were guessing just as much as I was because they're going by the computer, and I own a little computer. I think you've seen it on one of my other videos. If not, I'll take a picture of it and post it somewhere right here. So anyways, this little computer does everything, and it erases, you know, like if you have an air suspension fault code or anything like that, it'll erase it. Then it'll also tell you what caused it. Airbags, everything, pretty much everything with that Range Rover. It kind of gives you an idea, and if you know how to read it, it'll tell you exactly what it is, pretty close. But this throttle body thing, it wouldn't say anything. It just kept saying that there was a O2 sensor validity fault. But anyways, hopefully this video helps you guys. Also, just a real quick note, if you guys have replaced your fuel pump and your fuel gauge isn't working, check your fuel pump. It might not be straight up and down, and on the bottom of your gas tank there's this little indents where your fuel pumps actually sits. So if you notice, say there's two holes that you look through in your gas tank, you can actually open the passenger side and open the fuel tank and see the fuel pump on the other side of the fuel tank. If you open the left side, which is the driver's side, and pop that lid open on the gas tank underneath your back seat, you could actually, I stuck my phone in there. I don't know if that's a good idea, but make sure your gas is empty. Make sure you don't drop your phone. But see if your float is hitting the back of that wall. If it's hitting the back of the wall and your gas gauge is only going up to like a quarter of a tank or 3/4 of a tank full when you fill it all the way up, most likely, I'm not for sure, but most likely your fuel pump canister isn't sitting straight up and down, because when you go to put it in, when you install it, it tends to go at an angle. It's like the natural way it just goes in. You got to actually tweak it to set it straight up and down, to set them in those grooves in the thing so that float doesn't hit the back of the wall. Just a little advice. I mean, I know I read a couple forums and it says that their fuel gauge didn't work, and I had that problem too. I couldn't figure it out for a month, and I kept buying new fuel pumps and trying to figure it out, but it ended up being that I was actually trying to bend the float so it would work, but my gauge kept reading 3/4 of a tank full when I was filling all the way up, and it ended up being my fuel pump wasn't straight up and down. All right, guys, let me show you something. If anyone's having problems also, here's another, this is off the, I'm just randomly throwing all the negatives of my Range Rover out there. But if you guys are having problems with, after changing your fuel pump and your thermostat, your fuel gauge isn't working, this might be the problem. Let me show you. So here's the fuel filter. Okay, down here, let me see if it'll stand up. I don't know if I can get it to stand up. So what's happening, this is your thermostat. Oh, I'm sorry. This is your fuel gauge. This is sending unit. That's completely full. See the gauge? And this little needle, this needle right here, when it gets up here, that's what's showing that it's full. And when it's down here, that shows it's empty. What's happening is when you guys put the brand new fuel pump in, you know, you go to set it down, what's happening is when you set it in the tank, let me show you this way. When you set it in the tank, it has a tendency to want to go like that. Like, see how the angle is? It's at an angle, right? Well, what you need to do on the bottom of the tank is once you get this in the tank, yeah, it might be at an angle, but straighten it out and push it straight down. There's these 3 notches. Let me show you. There's 3 notches on the bottom of the fuel tank. And let's see if I can get this to stand up so I could show you guys. So I could show you guys better. Here. Okay. There's 3 notches on the bottom of the tank. They're just, it's like, it looks like a little shape like this. You know, there's little pieces that hold this part. This is, like I said, this is towards the back of the tank. So say if your back of the tank is right here, you know, you don't want this at an angle. You know, you don't want it at an angle when you're putting it in. It'll want to go at an angle, but what you want to do, the bottom is right here. You want this to sit right on the bottom, holding it. And then when you go to push the top down, push it straight down, and then the top will form to the fuel tank. You know, I bought 3 of these, and what's happening is when I go to put it in, this is sliding out of the holder and it's going at an angle. So this is hitting the top of the gas tank. So it's only going 3/4 of the way full, if that. Sometimes it was only showing like in between a half a tank and 3/4. So what's happening, this is hitting the top of the gas tank, and I'm thinking this is all bad. It's not. And what's happening, it was just going at an angle. So you need to put it straight, make sure it goes into the holder, which is hard to tell, but you could kind of feel it once you get it in there. Then you push this down, and the springy part will go at an angle into the gas tank, to the top of the gas tank. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm trying to say, but pretty much just needs to go straight down. Once you get it straight down, push down, and it'll click into place, and this will have free play. Because right now I just fixed mine, and this was just hitting in the top of the gas tank. It kept stopping right there, which it needed to go all the way up, but it kept hitting the back of the gas tank and not allowing this to go all the way up. So that's why I wasn't getting a full reading. That's why I wasn't getting a full reading on my fuel gauge. But I don't know, little tips, maybe it'll help you guys if you own a Range Rover and you change your fuel pump and that thing didn't, your fuel gauge doesn't go all the way to the top. That's why that sending unit is hitting the back of the fuel tank. But hope this helps. If you guys have any other questions, just give me a shout, leave me a comment in the section below. You could actually email me also, it's in the description below. And then hope this helps you guys with the guys with Range Rovers, even BMWs. I know the BMWs are pretty similar to the Land Rovers. So thanks for watching. Hope this video helped you guys a little bit. If I ever do anything else with my truck, I'll try to film it, but hopefully I have no other problems, but you know I will, because you know how Range Rover is. They break down every 5 seconds. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I will be back with more videos. Stay tuned, because this weekend I'm going to be going to, probably Sunday, I'm probably going to go to Azusa Canyon. So I'm trying to make it out there, but if I have to work or something comes up, then of course I won't be able to go. But the goal is to go to Azusa Canyon, film some of those mud guys, you know, going out in the mud. I'm not going to do that with my Range Rover. I might go through a small things, but I sure don't want to get stuck. So, but whatever. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Sometimes I get that urge and I'll go through the mud or whatever. But thanks for watching, and I'll be back with more videos.